The most tragic thing about Princess Kaguya is not that she was trapped, it's that almost everyone around her believed they were doing the right thing. Before I begin, I would like to clarify the perspective I'm approaching this film from. This video is not a criticism of men or masculinity. It's an exploration of Kaguya's story and how many of the things she experiences and that cause her pain are connected to patriarchal structures, systems, and expectations that have been woven into society so deeply that we often overlook them. I want to emphasize that these structures are not only harmful towards women, but they also create expectations and pressures that affect men as well. However, because this video focuses on Kaguya's story and my own personal connection to it, I will be discussing the experiences of women and how they relate to the world she lives in. This video examines how these expectations and structures limit us and how Kaguya's story reflects these struggles that many people can recognize even today. While making my previous video on the tale of the Princess Kaguya, I realized that there was another aspect of this film I really wanted to cover: the slow loss of Kaguya's agency. I don't think I can cover this film without pointing out that this is a story of a woman who is constantly being shaped, controlled, and defined by everyone around her. And as a woman, Kaguya's experience hits close to home. At the beginning of the film, we see Kaguya experiencing her freedom as a child. She runs barefoot through fields, she's covered in dirt, she steals a melon and sits behind the bushes to enjoy it with her friend, and she jumps into rivers without any hesitation. The scene with her and Sutomaru enjoying the melon is one of my favorite scenes. I almost started drooling over that melon. I get why they stole it. This version of Kaguya is beautiful to see because she doesn't question herself. She isn't thinking about whether she looks graceful enough. She isn't wondering if she's acting too masculine. She's just a child enjoying the wonders of the world. There are no expectations placed on her. But then she gets taken away from her home to the capital. And I want to stress that the capital is never her home. Sure, it's a beautiful mansion with servants and expensive things, but a home is a place where you can really be yourself, and Kaguya slowly loses that ability. At first, she's amazed by everything around her. She dances in the colorful silk fabrics, explores the gardens, and runs through the entire mansion with excitement. At this point, she's still just a child. She doesn't understand that all of these wonderful things comes with a price. She soon learns that she isn't just there to live. She is there to become a noble woman. She has to dress a certain way, speak a certain way, move a certain way. She has to blacken her teeth because noble women aren't supposed to laugh openly. Her eyebrows are shaved and drawn on because she is expected to have a certain appearance. Every part of her natural self is slowly removed. I think that's something a lot of women can relate to. Growing up as a girl, you start learning what parts of yourself are appropriate for the world and which parts you need to hide. When I was younger, I always got called a tomboy because I spent a lot of my time with the neighborhood boys playing and running around in the backyard carelessly. I was a kid just having fun. But after I heard enough comments from the adults around me, I started questioning myself. Maybe I shouldn't be acting this way. Maybe I do need to be a bit more feminine. And for a while, I did change. I started choosing more dresses to wear instead of my jeans and t-shirts. I quieted down my loud, obnoxious laugh, and I didn't want to hang out with the boys anymore. I started doing things that I assumed were the right things for a girl to do. Eventually, though, I just went back to being how I was. Unfortunately, Kaguya's story isn't the same as mine. Hers is heartbreaking because she never got this choice. Throughout the entire film, she is treated less like a person and more like an object. During her coming of age party, which is gross, by the way, she is seen to have somewhat accepted who she needs to be. She quietly does what she is told, mostly to appease her father. We see her sitting in her decorated carriage, which is quite the metaphor by itself. And she isn't even allowed to be part of her own party. Some men request seeing her, and her father tells them that he can't, and this upsets the men. The girl they've been hearing so much about, her beauty and elegance, isn't going to be gracing them with her presence. How could she? So they go on to call her ugly and worthless, and how she will never be able to actually have any true status because she is just a girl from the bamboo grove. Then we see five noble suitors come to court her, and they're not doing this out of love, as you could have already guessed. They're doing it because at this point, Kaguya's name had been spread throughout the capital as being breathtakingly beautiful, with a skill to play a koto that could be considered out of this world. So they want to own her. They want her by their side so that their status can be increased. To them, she is just something to possess, to show off. Their obsession is disturbing, not just because of the fact of ownership, but some of these losers look like they could actually be her dad or even grandfather. Oh god, so gross. The scene with the emperor is even more horrifying because he assaults her, and he truly believes that his position in the capital gives him the power to do it. He even tells Kaguya that other women would be happy to be in her position. First of all, gross. Second of all, I think that his hat is on too tight on his head and it's causing him to be delusional. This scene is tremendously uncomfortable and heartbreaking to watch because we see Kaguya being visibly terrified. Unfortunately, this is an experience that many women understand. Having your boundaries ignored, having your visible discomfort dismissed and ignored, feeling like someone believes they are entitled to your body. These experiences leave lasting damage, and the film does not shy away from showing Kaguya's pain. But Kaguya's struggle isn't only because of the strangers around her, but expectations are also placed on her by the people who love her, especially her father. Her father truly loves her, and he also loves the idea of what he thinks she should become, and by extension, what he could become. Towards the end of the film, we see him trying to convince her to marry the emperor because he will also be able to have a prestigious position within the palace. Kaguya looks at him and tells him to kill her. She isn't being dramatic. At this point, she feels as though if she goes through with this one more thing, she would much rather be dead. Even though her mother cares about her well being and has been an active support system in her life, she doesn't have the power to speak up on her daughter's behalf because their society is heavily influenced by the patriarchal system. This kind of pressure to be the perfect child is something many people can relate to. It's the fear of disappointing your parents, the fear of making the wrong choice, the fear that your own happiness is selfish. But for women, there is often another layer. Girls are frequently taught that being good means being pleasing, being beautiful, being obedient, being easy to love. And when women step outside of these expectations, society is often much less forgiving. By the end of the film, Kaguya is exhausted, not physically, emotionally. She has been carrying the weight of everyone's expectations, her father's dreams, society's beauty standards, the demands placed on her as a noble woman. And slowly, we watch her break. The story is devastating because Kaguya isn't destroyed by one single event. She is worn down by years of having no control over her own life. Eventually, she reaches a point where she just can't take it anymore. Her final desire is powerful because she doesn't want wealth, she doesn't want status, she doesn't want to be perfect, she just wants to live. This story is incredibly bittersweet to me. My previous video focused more on the beauty of Kaguya's life, the joy, the freedom, and those fleeting moments that makes life meaningful. Of course, I did touch on some of the harsher side, but I didn't delve that deeply into them. But this video is more about the bitter side, the parts that hurt, the parts that many women and honestly many people can recognize and relate to. Kaguya was never asking for the world. She was simply asking for her freedom to be herself. I want to add that there are moments when she really tried to create some sort of happiness in her otherwise bleak life. When she visited the sakura tree, or she used part of her mother's garden to create a miniature version of where she lived before, and she even got a moment where she connected with Sutamaru. But at the end of it all, these pressures just took any joy or hope that she had inside herself. Also, I absolutely adore the handmaiden who is with her throughout the film. She was such a good friend to Kaguya, right to the very end, and I truly believe that she did everything she could to make Kaguya feel a little less alone, even if we didn't get to see all of it. If you made it to the end of this video, I truly appreciate you for sticking around and listening to me yap. Goodbye, and don't forget to always be yourself any chance you get.